Hi friends, it's Miss Leslie. I'm so glad you guys are watching my video lessons. And today, hopefully you already saw some of the links that I have posted on with my video lesson that's talking all about, who knows, maps. That's right. Before we left school, we had been talking about our community, what makes up a community, and a map is kind of a little bit plays a part in all of that, and we will explain why. So just a quick review because we haven't talked about it in a long time. Let's talk about community helpers. And who can tell me what or who is a community helper? We have lots of community helpers. So why don't you take a minute and you discuss maybe with mommy or with daddy or with a brother or sister, an adult, and let them know what you know about community helpers. Go ahead. Oh, wait a minute. And I'll think about a community helper maybe that I like. I know one of my favorites, and everybody knows that one. They help people get better when they're sick. What is it? That's right, a doctor or a nurse, right? So we said community helpers are people that help run our community. And that's anybody that's a doctor or a firefighter, a policeman, a teacher, a farmer, a veterinarian. We need all of those things to be able to run our community, and they're all very important. So we have a doctor that works at a hospital, and if we didn't have a doctor, if we had a community and we forgot all about doctors and they didn't exist in our community, then what would happen when people got sick? That's right, they wouldn't get better, right? Or what happens if there's bad guys and there is no cops or police officers to protect us? We don't know what's gonna happen. Our community would not be safe, right? We need them to keep us safe. And what about farmers? Who would get us our food if we didn't have farmers that grew it and send it to our grocery stores, right? Or veterinarians. Just like doctors take care of people, veterinarians take care of animals, and we need them for when they get sick, we can help get them better too. So we have all sorts of community helpers that help run our community. And our community is very big, so we have lots of things that are in our community. And sometimes maps help us get around our community. Maps give us directions, and there's lots of maps like you guys saw in the videos, and they give us all sorts of different information. Some maps give us information about the weather. Some maps give us information of how to get somewhere by providing directions for us. Different, like when we went to the zoo. When we went to the zoo, we got a map. And what did that map tell us? That map told us exactly where the animals were, because when we got there, some of us had never been to the zoo, so we didn't know our way around. So that map had a little legend, had pictures on it, and it told us where the different kinds of animals were. So where the elephants were, and where the spiders and the snakes were, and where the koalas were, and where the giraffes were, where the flamingos were. They all had little pictures, and they would tell us exactly where to go, right? If we had to go right, or we had to go left, or we had to go forward or backwards. And it also had little symbols letting us know where the bathrooms were, where restaurants were in case we got hungry. It helped us get around all of the park because we didn't know where it was. And guess what? There's another kind of map too, really cool map that tells you where buried treasure is. The coolest. Who doesn't like buried treasure? Everybody likes buried treasure, right? So that you know who used to draw maps about buried treasure. They say, "Arr." That's right, pirates. Pirates used to make maps about where they used to bury jewels and gold, right? All of their buried treasure, which was awesome. And sometimes, most of the time, they didn't have words, they had pictures because pirates weren't very good at spelling. They didn't have schools to go to. They lived on ships and they didn't have teachers to teach them. So they didn't have school, they didn't know how to spell, they didn't know how to write, so they would draw maps with pictures on it so people would know where to go. So here we have the basics of maps and I'll just go over them quickly, and then in the next video, maybe, we will learn how to make a map together. So here, it's very important that we have a title on our map, because that tells us what the map is. If we find a map and we have no title, we have absolutely no idea what it is of. We don't know if it's of a buried treasure. We don't know if it's of how to get to a building. We don't know if it's taking us on a road trip to somebody else's house or to a theme park, or we had no idea. So we need something that tells us what the map is. Or is it of the weather in your city, maybe? Whatever it is, we need to put a title on it. So this one says up here, my treasure, because that would be a map to some buried treasure. And then we have a compass rose. A compass rose usually is on the map, and it tells us what direction we're supposed to be going. So it's usually north, east, south, and west. North is your way up, east is to your right, south is down, and west is to your left. So here I have a little example, and it's a circle in the middle. It's purple. So the heart would be what of the circle? Okay, take a look at it. I'm going to bring my phone a little bit closer so you guys can see. Okay, so you have the circle here, and then you have the heart. So the heart would be north, because that is up, north of the circle. You guys see that? Okay, so what about the star? Do you guys see that? The star would be west of the purple circle. And then we have the triangle. That's right, the triangle. So what would the triangle be? North, east, south, or west? That's right, south. The triangle would be south of the purple circle. And last, we have the square. So what would the square be? That's right, east. The square would be east of the purple circle. Okay, so if you're trying to find your way up to on the map, then you would be able to say go north and then go west towards the water, right? So that's how you would find your way around that. And then next we have symbols. Symbols are very important too. Okay, so the symbols will tell us what is on the map. And you can have all different kinds of symbols representing all different kinds of things. It's up to you what they represent. So we can have this brown thing that could be a volcano with lava, or it could be a mountain. It could be a hill. It could be it could really be it could be just dirt, maybe. It could be anything that you want. So you decide what your symbols mean. So here we have some blue. We have something that looks like a tree, maybe a building, a seesaw, some houses. So then when you have, those are your symbols, but you need to give your symbols some meaning. So when you have a legend on your map, it'll tell you what the symbols mean. So it says the blue is a fountain. So maybe around your neighborhood or in your backyard, you have a fountain and you want somebody to walk or hop or run to the fountain. So then you would put some blue lines wherever on your map that you want your fountain to be. This says tree. So then you can put that on your map wherever maybe there's a tree somewhere. If you go on the walk around your neighborhood and you want to get to a certain tree that you really love, or you go past the tree towards where you're trying to get, then you can put the tree there. House, the little house, the brown actually stands for a mountain. This one is a tall building. This one is for a park. So maybe when you're going somewhere, you drive past a park, or you ride your bike past a park, and maybe your treasure is in there, or maybe that's where you want to get. So you can have a symbol for that. And then we have X marks the spot is where your treasure is. And along with that, you can have different ways of getting there. so here I have some little symbols, and it says, I'm gonna bring my phone closer again so you guys can see, but it says wherever you see a dash, that means you're going to take 2 steps. Because on the map, you can't really make the steps as big as they really are, right? Because the paper is really small and our steps are really big, so there's no way of knowing that. But somebody that's reading a map knows that if you put a dash on your map, that means take 2 steps. And if you see a squiggly line like this, it means hop to that place. And if you see 3 little dots or the dots like this, it means tiptoe to wherever it is that you're going. Okay, so you have different things that mean different things on the map. And maps are not only on paper, because I'm sure as you guys have seen, you see your mommies and you see your daddies that have maps on, sorry guys, that have maps on your phones. So they put a direction on your phone, on their iPhone or whatever kind of phone they have, and you can it'll tell you directions of how to get somewhere walking, or how to get somewhere on the car, how to get somewhere on the bus, and it'll tell you turn right, turn left, go past the light, and it'll have a little symbol of a red, a yellow, and a green, because that tells you going past the light, that's a symbol for the traffic light. Right, and it'll have a little circle, and it'll say arrived when you have arrived, because that is the newer way of maps. Long before we had phones, we had to use paper in order to make our maps, because we didn't have phones to plug in directions and tell us how to get there. And now we still have maps that are on paper that tell us all sorts of things. And we have maps, luckily, on our phone that we can look at as well. So maybe after this, mommies and daddies can show you some maps on the phone as well. So you can take a look at different sorts of maps, or a globe. In school, we have a globe, and the globe is round, right? And it gives us a picture of our whole world, right? That's really cool. That's a different kind of map as well. So we have all different kinds of maps that tell us all different kinds of things. And watch my next video, because on our next video, I'll show you how to make your very own map. And you can decide what you want to do it on. We'll just make sure that we include all the important parts to be able to make a map. Okay, I hope you like this video. I'll see you guys actually tomorrow morning. Love you guys. Bye.